Maker's Mark, a B-Corp certified business, is a brand of bourbon synonymous with craftsmanship and quality. Lindsay Woods, a Maker's Mark Diplomat, explains how the company marries traditional bourbon making with innovative, eco-friendly practices. As with many of these inspirational stories, there's a passionate person leading the effort.
The woman that started the process for B Corp is a very, very vibrant woman named Kim Harmon. Kim Harmon at the time was running our safety at the distillery, which is a massive job, as you can imagine. We're a fully functioning distillery and farm. And Kim had been doing, I saw the stack of paperwork that she had to fill out. It was like 4 file folders going back as far as our things like insurance and different, our years of kind of pay stubs for different positions to make sure that that was all above and beyond kind of industry standard, and proving all of that. And work-life balance, hours, like just all of these things you kind of don't think of on the paperwork end, where you prove the sustainability end, you prove the community end, but then it's just the paper trail. So Kim was the woman that has driven all that. Since then, she has now been promoted to the GM of the distillery.
While B Corp certification encompasses sustainability with respect to all aspects of a business, Maker's Mark has long embraced the ethos of environmental stewardship with respect to its agricultural practices.
Since the beginning, we have always gotten our grain from a 60-mile radius. The only thing we don't get from a 60-mile radius, and this is because of quality of grain, is our malted barley quality grows better north towards the border, the Canadian border. We get our corn and our soft winter wheat 60 miles from the distillery, so that it has to do with emission, but also quality and supporting local. We've always done that since 1953 when we started sourcing everything. We also use our spent grain for farmers so they can turn it back to feed or compost or different things for the farms around the distillery. So there's a lot of different process.
Their commitment to the environment also extends to packaging. They use hand-printed labels, have innovated recyclable wax tops, and emphasize sustainability in all their bourbon making practices. This also applies to the oak used for their barrel aging program.
One of the things that I like to boast most that we do, for every Maker's Mark tree that gets cut down that goes to one of our barrels, we plant 7 more.
In Nova Scotia, Maker's Mark has launched a brand called Maker's Mark 902, a bottling that is part of their Private Select program.
The Maker's Mark Private Select program is where a restaurant, retail, a very lucky, maybe one human being or small whiskey club will come to the distillery and taste through all of those expressions, those cask strength expressions that are highlighted notes of Maker's Mark that already exist, and then put together their version of Maker's Mark out of 10 staves and their own custom recipe. And then 1 or 2, depending, barrels are made, and that is a single bottling.
So tell us a little bit about the flavor profile of the Maker's Mark 902 you've produced for the NSLC.
We went very heavy on the darker fruit notes and kind of some of the stewed fruits. The recipe is pretty heavy in Maker's 46, which is, again, designed, it's already existing as its own standalone whiskey, so it is a very balanced whiskey.
As for how to enjoy the product, Wood says,
we always encourage you to drink your bourbon any way you like, as long as it's Maker's Mark. So I like a little bit of water. It is still sitting at cask strength, and one of the things I would like to remark about cask strength is that you don't have to drink it at cask strength. You can dilute it to the proof that you like and where you like it. So again, there's no wrong way. I honestly only revisited this yesterday for the first time since we created it. So I'm still enjoying it neat, but I always like a little bit of water, one very good ice cube. Very good ice cube.
A variety of Maker's Mark bourbon are available in Atlantic Canada.